Hello, everybody. We're going to give folks just a minute or two to roll on, and then Cynthia, Gina, Kate, team, if this is looking good to you, give me a thumbs up in the comments so that I know that we're appearing okay. We tried this a second ago, and the orientation was Schwecko, but this looks good to me on my screen. Merry belated Christmas to everyone out there. As you can tell, we still have our Christmas tree up. This will be up until July, if past history is any guide to what will happen this year. We are always the latest to get the Christmas tree up, and we get it up only because Molly, our daughter, our middle child, is so good about insisting that we get a Christmas tree up, because left to our own devices, Amy and I might get it up on the 24th or the 25th or not at all. This year we got it up maybe a week before Christmas, maybe two. But then we keep it for far too long because nobody wants to take the tree to get shredded at environmental services or put it in a truck or whatever. Anyhow, so hence the tree, and I'll keep the lights on it until New Year's probably. Hope you all are doing good. And I also, on top of a belated Merry Christmas, I wish you an early Happy New Year. And I hope everyone has good, fun, but given the spread of COVID, the Omicron variant, and the high level of infection that we're seeing right now, a very safe New Year. So, be smart, ensure that you are vaccinated, that you're boosted. And even if you are all those things, if you are in an enclosed area with other people, make sure you're wearing a mask, and just let's look out for one another, right? It's definitely about each of us keeping ourselves safe and from getting sick. But it's also about protecting others, because you can be vaccinated and boosted, but you can still carry, and you could potentially carry that to someone who is vulnerable and may have a really hard time if they get COVID. And so let's make sure that we're thinking about everyone. Look, I want to just connect with our wonderful friends on live stream one more time before the end of the year. You all have been phenomenal for the duration of really everything that I've been doing in Texas over the last few years, but certainly over the last month and a half, as we were traveling the state at the launch of this campaign, going literally to every single part of the state. You saw us in deep East Texas, in South Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley. You saw us in Central Texas and Hill Country, in North Texas, in West Texas, the Panhandle, the Trans-Pecos area, and all points in between, big cities, small towns, rural counties, and the very big places. And you all were there for the duration on the live stream, for the events, for the drives in the truck with Cynthia, and the Get in the Truck program, which we'll probably talk a little bit more about in a minute, and just offering a lot of encouragement and support. So I wanted to have this chance to say thank you to all of you out there. Someone from our team has helpfully placed this link right here. This goes to our Act Blue donation page. So if you want to support this campaign and you want to support it today, like even right now, we would love to have the help. And I'm actually hoping over the course of this live stream to raise $1,000, which is a lot of money, but given the fact that our most likely opponent in the general election, Greg Abbott, has $55 million already in the bank and is taking $1 million campaign contribution checks from his donors, we're going to need a lot of these kinds of events and donations in order to make it. But if you're willing to chip in and help us over the course of the next 10, 15 minutes reach $1,000, I would be grateful. And as we see you donating, Cynthia, Kate, Gina, and team are going to text me. I guess Cynthia's going to text me the names of those who are donating, and I'll give you a shout out and express my gratitude on the live stream to you and to everyone who's donated so far and is donating going forward. But that link, if you want to make a donation, is right there. First, let me just say that this campaign that we are running together, it is all of us. It's not the candidate. It's not the political party. It is all of us in Texas who want something better. This campaign that is focused on the big issues that bring us together at a time that the current governor is trying to divide us and pit us against each other. Issues that we are running for, like ensuring that we have world-class public schools and that we support the public school educators, the classroom teachers, the counselors, the nurses, the librarians, the speech language pathologists, the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, the custodial staff, everyone who makes that possible. By focusing on them and making sure they're able to deliver for those kids, I know we can get there. That's been so wonderful to see so many people fired up about making sure that we have world-class public schools. That's an example of how we're bringing people together and what people are excited for. Ensuring that we are creating the best jobs in America right here in the state of Texas, and making sure that more Texans are earning a living wage, meaning that you work full time and you're actually able to afford to stay in your house and put food on the table, and that you're not racking up credit card debt or payday loan debt. You're able to provide for yourself and your kids. That happens when we focus on jobs and the kind of high quality, high wage, high skill, high value jobs that we want to see more of in the state of Texas. And then moving forward on things that most of us, and that means Republicans, that means independents, that means Democrats, most of us agree on, like expanding Medicaid so that more people can see a doctor, more people can be well enough to live to their full potential, more people are healthy when they start the day at school or at work or starting a business or running a political campaign. Most of us can get behind expanding Medicaid because without it, we're going to see Texas remain the least insured state, and we're going to see friends, family, neighbors pass away from curable cancers, from diabetes, from the flu, from COVID, absolutely unnecessarily. So expanding Medicaid, that brings people together and makes a lot of sense. Legalizing marijuana so that we never again put someone behind bars in Texas for possession of a substance that is legal in just about every other part of the country right now. Imagine the hundreds of millions of dollars that we would save as taxpayers. Imagine all of the lives that would be made better, not rotting behind bars, but raising their families, going to school, starting businesses, writing amazing music, painting amazing paintings, doing whatever their genius is going to allow them to do. And making sure that we also are able to benefit by the revenue that legal marijuana will create in the state. Invest that into schools, invest it into infrastructure, invest it into broadband in rural communities. There is so much that we can do. All right, I'm going to check the text to see what we've been able to do so far. And it looks like we have raised, if I'm reading this correctly, we've raised over $575 so far. We were trying to raise 1,000, so it looks like we're on the right track. And let me give some shout outs to Kathy. Kathy, thank you for your contribution. Edmund, Andrew, both came in big for $100 each. Thank you so much. Sonia, Julie, Katrina, Michelle, Yvonne, thank you to you all. You all are absolutely amazing. And because everyone is being so generous and you have surprised us by how quickly you have helped us to reach our goal of 1,000, and we're now just under $1,200, we're going to up the goal to $2,000 and see if we can't raise that. And I'll stay on the live stream. Actually, this was something I wanted to do if we got to 1,000. Beyond having the Christmas tree and the piano, which I'm incapable of playing, and my Ed Couch Elsa Yellow Jackets, La Máquina Amarilla hat, kudos to the district and to the team. I also have this bag of dog treats, and if we raised $100, I was going to give Artemis a dog treat, but we've raised far more than that. Artemis heard me open the bag. Let me see if I can get this camera down here. Artemis, here you go. You get your dog treat. We raised $1,000. Keep this dog fed. Anyhow, I thought Artemis would be a great motivator for everybody, although it looks like we didn't need it. Artemis, you want to say hi? You want to say thank you to folks who are donating? Great. All right. Well, she says thank you. So anyhow, I was just in the middle of saying before I got interrupted with this great news, and Artemis just got her dog biscuit, that the way that we've been running this campaign and the issues that we have focused on and the means by which we've been able to bring people together is just really encouraging. I had very high hopes for this campaign when Amy and I made the decision to run, and I started talking to friends and former colleagues about joining this effort. I never imagined it would start this strong and be this positive and go this well. And that has, again, everything to do with you and the people out there who've been showing up to our events, who've been making donations, who've been encouraging us along the way, the people who literally comprise the campaign more than it is anything else, including the candidate, including the candidate's dog, or the political party to which I may belong. It's all of us doing this. So thank you all. And what we're doing right now is testament to that. Okay, some more shout outs. Richard, thank you. Christy, thank you. William and Ellen, thank you both. Phaedra, good to see you on here. Thank you for making a donation. Dionely, if I'm saying that correctly, if I'm not, I apologize, but thank you, Dionely, for your contribution. Liz, Daniel, and Kristen, you've all made contributions as well. And just to remind you all that there's a link right there, at least that's where it is on my screen. You can click that, and in a matter of seconds, you can make a donation. And if you're making a $5, a $50, a $500 donation, whatever it is, I promise you, I am grateful for it, and we will put it to its highest and best use. In other words, your donation, we will convert into action on this campaign, supporting the folks who are knocking on doors right now, or making phone calls, or writing letters. We have a letter writing campaign going on within Beto for Texas right now as well. So all you English majors and lovers of letters, here's your opportunity to shine. But your donations go to making sure that we have the resources to support this team and to reach every single eligible voter in the state of Texas and help ensure that they have the information necessary to make the best possible decision when they go to vote early in October of 2022 or on election day in November. We're less than a year away, obviously. And so what you pitch in now is incredibly important for our ability to go that distance and make sure that not only are we competitive, which I know we're going to be, but that we win at the end of the day, which is the most important thing. I probably don't have to tell you this, but it bears repeating. In addition to the great things that we want to do, the best jobs in America created right here in Texas, world-class public schools, and making sure that we expand Medicaid so everyone who needs to can see a doctor, fill a prescription, go to a therapist. I also think it's really important that we understand who we are running against and why there's such an urgent need for change in the state of Texas. And for most of you in Texas, you have to look no further than February of this year when the power went out in the energy capital of North America. And that was not due to an act of God or Mother Nature or anyone other than the person in the highest position of public trust and power in the state of Texas, Greg Abbott, because he ignored the warnings about how vulnerable our grid was and failed to take the necessary precautions and steps to protect that grid and by extension protect all of us. Millions, I think more than 10 million, were without power in February, literally could not keep the lights on, the heat running, or the water flowing as the pipes began to freeze. And as many of you who had frozen pipes then learned, as the homes warmed back up and as the water started flowing, your pipes actually burst, or you found that they had burst because water's flowing right through those burst pipes, ruining your floorboards, the foundation of your homes, the drywall, racking up thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars in repair bills as a result. That was bad. That was really bad. It was even worse when we consider that hundreds, by one count, more than 700 of our fellow Texans died of carbon monoxide poisoning, of hypothermia, of exposure, because this governor literally could not keep the power running in this state. But the worst part of it all, if you ask me, is that after all of that, when we undoubtedly knew that we had a problem and that we had to fix it going forward, this governor, Greg Abbott, did absolutely nothing to protect us against the next extreme or severe weather event in the state of Texas. You know, he tweeted earlier today, and if you follow my Twitter stream, you probably saw our response. He tweeted that they've done some inspections on the power generation at the utilities, and that's fine. That's probably a good thing to do, but it is completely insufficient for the challenge at hand, because what ERCOT, those are the folks who manage the grid, what ERCOT themselves told us just a few weeks ago was it wasn't the power generators, it wasn't the utility companies primarily, it was the gas supply in the state of Texas that was the primary cause of the power outages throughout the state, of the millions of people without electricity, of the hundreds of people who died. And this governor's done nothing to address the gas supply, like making sure that those gas supply CEOs are weatherizing their part of the grid. They got a complete loophole in the weatherization plan. They have not been required to do it, certainly not in time for this winter. And it might be because it's those same CEOs who have literally written millions of dollars in checks and campaign contributions to Greg Abbott's campaign since the power grid failure, almost as a reward for Greg Abbott not taking action that would have been expensive for them, but would have protected all of us, and almost as a bribe to keep Greg Abbott from doing the thing that we needed him to do to save lives and keep the power on going forward. That's what we're up against. And I mean, we could talk about a number of other things that are deeply disappointing in his time in office. The extreme agenda this last legislative session, like the abortion ban, the reproductive health care ban, the vigilante law that puts a $10,000 bounty on the head of anyone who tries to help any woman in this state make her own healthcare decisions about her own body and about her own future. The permitless carry gun laws that allows anyone, including convicted criminals, violent former felons, to carry loaded firearms in public without any background check or vetting whatsoever in a state that has 4 of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history. There's a lot there. But the fact that this person in the highest position of power let us all down when we needed power the most during the grid failure and the winter storm in February says it all. He's more interested with the welfare and benefit of his donors than he is in the safety of the people of Texas. He's more concerned about his poll numbers and how he fares in the Republican primary election than he is in making sure that he serves the people of this state. That's why I'm asking you to click on this link right here, chip in, and make sure that we have the resources to get this message out, both the good things that we want to do together for the people of Texas, great schools, great jobs, expanding Medicaid so more people can see a doctor, and also so that we can get the message out about what the consequence of failing to vote in this next election is, which is 4 more years of the kind of incompetence and corruption that we've seen from Greg Abbott so far. Okay, we're about to wrap up, and I'm very, very happy to tell you that I think we're over 2,000. We're at $2,125 so far. So thank you. You all more than doubled what we were hoping to raise over the course of this live stream, and I could not be more grateful. Let me read a couple of more names, and then I'm going to let you all go, and we may jump on another platform like IG or Twitter. Richard, Christy, Jeff, Tracy, David, Barbara, Guy or Guy, Margaret, thank you all for donating. And if anybody wants to make a last minute donation, you can, again, right there. Robert, Delcia, Linda, Jaliza, Claudia, Jenna, Robert from Philly, Sarah, Madeline from Ohio, and Jeff made a recurring donation. Jeff, you're in the truck. I think those, text me, team, if I'm missing anybody, but I think that is everyone that we wanted to acknowledge who helped us to exceed the contribution goal that we had set of $1,000. We raised $2,200 so far, and it keeps climbing. Thank you all for being a part of this. Yeah, I had some notes, other things that I wanted to say, but look, I reminded us of why we're running, what we want to do, who we're up against, what the challenge is, and then you reminded me with the donations and support that you just made and that you just gave that we are all up to this challenge because it's going to require all of us doing all that we can every moment from now going forward through Election Day in November of 2022 to win this, to get Texas on the right track, and to make sure that we're truly living up to our potential and our promise as a state, as fellow Texans, and as the people who have a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to do something great. So thank you for being a part of this, and thank you for the support. And I hope that you've had a great Christmas, a great holiday season, and that you're going to have a wonderful, fun, but safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. We'll see you all soon. Happy New Year's.